Hello everyone, so this is going to be a seasonal guide, so I'm not going to do a full run as it could take a while and there's a lot of minute things that will cause me to reset the run over and over, so it'll be hard to really get one of these on video and do a guide at the same time. So I'm just going to do a kind of like the start of the run, because the start of the run is something that you're going to repeat basically throughout the entire run. So I covered the Draken guide of what relics I take on Draken. Now, this is going to pertain to more what my door choices are. So on the first planet, I spawn in, and the first thing I'm looking for are what the planet types are. So on planet 1, we are mainly looking for, on planet 1 and 2, sorry, we're mainly looking for boss planets, or we're looking for the alien nest / jungle defense planets. This is because we want to be only taking boss planets where we can throughout the entire run anyway, as this is going to give us our skill upgrades. And skill upgrades are the most important thing in your run. If you don't have them by the time you get to a certain point in the run, then you pretty much have to reset, right? Like, if you don't have, say, ×2 mines on Jungler, by the time you get to planet 10, you're not happy. Your run's going to slow down, so you want to reset and go again anyway. It's also faster just to kill bosses than it is to do exploration. You're not missing out on a relics by doing this, as much as people might think you are, because by the time you get to the mega boss planets, so like the ones that have 4 health bars, there's shops there where you can just buy relics and roll a bunch anyway and get what you need. The main reason we're doing this though is because if we get alien S or jungle defense, we'll be able to have a high chance of finding a crasher early into the run. Now you can see here I don't have those options offered to me, but we have a ×2 planet over here, we have a singular planets over here. These 2 bosses are pretty quick to kill, they don't move, they're stationary, they're pretty weak as well. And then the jungle cats are also pretty weak. They have low health pools, they're pretty fast at coming to you as well, which is good. But because there's 2 of them, you can see it says there's also going to be relic chests. If there's no ×2 bosses, they won't have a relic chest. So we're going to take ×2 bosses over single bosses where we can, as long as it's not impeding our breaker. And what I mean by that is, because I'm playing Draken, if an enemy was immune to bleed, we would avoid picking that enemy. We want to be able to utilize all our damage. So we'll spawn into this one and kind of give a little bit of a lowdown on how this goes. So, much like Campbell Normal and Extreme, the cats are going to spawn outside of the room. We're going to wait for the cats to come over to us, and then we're just going to beat them up, take their lunch money. Come in here, pick up skill upgrade. This is a pretty good one. We'll take that. We'll come in here. Now, what we're hoping for is we're going to pick up a crasher, hopefully, from the first one we kill. If it doesn't, then, and this is important of what I'm saying here, in a speed run, if we don't get a crasher on the first couple planets, I would reset. This is why I don't like really speed running in seasonal, because it's very finicky. There's a lot of things that can cause you to reset your run, but you know, that's just the nature of speedrunning. We didn't get a crasher, but like I said, 1 and 2. Gonna check for relics, nothing great in here. I covered the relic guide for Draken. If you're curious about what relics I'm really looking for, it's in there. And we're gonna come over here. Nothing fantastic, not gonna pick this up. Again, we're looking for a crasher. Now, oh, I missed a money box in the bottom left. That's fine though. I'm sure you guys will have the foresight to go pick that up. I'm concentrating on other things. So planet 1, we got only a boss, we got a nice skill upgrade, so we're gonna keep going. Now, if you don't find any nests, that's fine. You can go without it. It's just, so here we have jungle defense and an alien nest. We're going to pick the alien nest. This is going to be a little bit longer than killing a boss, but as you can see, it says high weapon drop rate, coin pickups medium, has relic boxes, and it has obelisks. This is fantastic for the early planets. We want it early, because if we find them later, they become extremely tanky, and we don't want them to be in that tanky. We're going to save breaking the boxes until after we've done this, just so we don't waste time. We're going to run into the middle, hack and slash, kill as many as we can at once. Come up to the right, blade shock over, hack slash did reset, so we're going to walk over here and hack slash again, walk back down, sweeping wind through, and then blade shock over. And what we're hoping for here is finding a crasher. This is what I was saying before, how there's a lot of things that can cause you to reset a run. I didn't get a crasher here, so in a speed run, I would reset. I would not carry on the run. I would keep, I would literally go again until I find a crasher early on on planets. Critical damage ship, we'll pick that up. And as you can see, I'm being very specific with my money right now. I'm not wanting to pick up too many things. We'll pick up freeze reactor. This allows us to pick up frozen targets throughout the run now. Nothing fantastic here. Was there a frozen target here, or was it on the previous planets here? So we have 476 coins. We're coming into planet 3. That's fine. Now, if you're not going for a speed run, you can just continue your run. Start prioritizing boss planets. And you'll see why I'm saying in a second that it doesn't really matter too much when you're not speedrunning. It's just only when we're speedrunning in those first 2 planets, if there's no crasher, reset. Coming through, now you can see we have Slayer, Commander, and a 4x4. This is going to take too long to clear. 4x4s unfortunately block you from running to the end. So we're going to avoid it. It has high pickup on coins, so in a normal run, this is fine. But again, I highly recommend not doing this and favor it instead for one of these planets who will give you skill upgrades. Now, this is very unfortunate for Draken because both these are immune to bleed and would also cause us to reset our run as it was just going to be a time loss. I should have probably done this on a breaker that doesn't have so many reset conditions, but it's okay. This gives you an authentic look of what it's like speedrunning seasonal. Okay. So we're going to come in, immediately check our skill upgrades, pick up the extra damage. I know I've been skipping some of these obelisks and stuff on the previous planets, but that's because they're not really important to what I'm trying to get over. Just pick the clear obelisks after or before you clear rooms, not during the rooms, just so you don't waste time. Come in, we're going to drop down our hack and slash, put up a blade shot. I reset it by accident. Yeah, I accidentally cancelled my blade shot, but that's okay. Still no crasher. It's okay. We'll break these boxes, and we'll just move on. And this is pretty much what the rest of the run's going to look like. Obviously, you'll get more damage as you're going because you're going to be buying relics, picking up stuff, etc. But you're going to be wanting to avoid anything that's immune to your element. So if you're playing jungler, you'll want to avoid fire planets. If you're playing Elsa, you avoid freeze planets. But after those first 2 planets, so now that we've had alien nests, we don't care for jungle defense. Although it'll be good for finding our crasher, we don't need it for kill power. Too many of these rooms are bad. It's too much time loss. But we do have double mammoths here, much like the cats. They're going to give us a lot of money. And now we only want boss planets. So after 1 and 2, you want boss planets only. Hit this, get our money. Pick up our... look up damage against bleed. The intrinsic's going to be a little bit better going forward. Bait these together by running to the middle. They'll start slamming, then we run down. And then hack a slash, run up behind. Sweeping wind. Blade shock. Cool. Still no crasher. Check through this. None of these are really that important. We'll pick up the Grim Reaper though. That's good attack power gains. Like I said in the guide for Draken, you want 1 or 2 more attack power relics plus giant strength. Nothing fantastic. We'll pick up the boss target though. As you can see, we still have a nice concentration of money coming through. We're not really skipping relics. We're still gaining relics through the run. Skipping exploration planets is not that big of an issue. Plus we're getting skill upgrades on top, so our damage is going to be higher. So you want to prioritize only bosses where you can. Alienness and jungle defense on the first 2 planets if need be. And then once you get to one of these mega boss planets, you want to take any that's not immune to bleed. So immune to bleed, immune to bleed, not immune to bleed. And then what we're going to do here is check the shop, find the first crasher we can, hopefully a tier 3 crasher. We don't really care what's on it because we'll be able to roll stuff onto the weapon anyway. And that will help us. So first thing we're checking for is a crasher. There's giant shrimp, pick that up, roll once, go crasher, roll again, roll again. It's really important that we find a crasher. That's why I'm prioritizing finding a crasher over picking up these relics right now. Yeah, you end up rolling a lot. And there's a crasher. So we're going to pick this up, and now we're set. Throughout the run now, we're just going to be picking up only boss rooms. I mean, both of these do the same thing. We're going to pick up the hack and slash one because we're going to lead with hack and slash. So we'll come into the room, apply our bleed, hack and slash with the defense shred, and then blade shock. Drag the boss down here. And from this point on, the run is going to look exactly the same. So all you're going to be doing now is taking boss planets and just avoiding the rooms that are negative hero breaker. And that's the strategy for speedrunning seasonal, and also the strategy for getting the easiest clear in seasonal. Yes, it's going to be a little bit hard if you're not used to killing bosses, but it's good practice, and it's the best way for you to find your it's the best way for you to save time, basically. Always check the boxes before you purchase anything. There's goals, we will buy that. Down here, double check across here. We've got a little bit of money. We don't want to roll because it's going to cost us 65 every roll right now, which is pretty bad. Now, in terms of crashes and stuff, in this run, you prefer to have a tier 3 crasher so you can roll the big relics onto it, but you're fine with a tier 2 crasher. Just roll some crit damage, some cooldown onto it where you can. Don't go too heavy with rolling. It does cost more every time you do it before going to the next planet. So here we have alright damage multipliers, but there's an empty slot. Roll one thing in there, don't like it, we'll roll once more. Attack power, we'll keep that. We'll look up here. We don't really care for the health. We're gonna roll that, get some more cooldown, and we're just gonna leave it like that for now. Double Slayers and Tree. So double Slayers are immune to bleed, so we're going to ignore it. This is a 4x4. This will take too long to clear, so we're going to take the boss planet. We always prioritize boss planets going forward. We will prioritize any boss planet that has 2 in it, as long as they aren't immune to our element. Now, if you get given an option where you have no boss planets, unfortunately, that's kind of a rip run. You end up just resetting your run at that point. Unless you're doing to get you clear, then you just take whatever tile set's not going to be immune to your element, or gives you the most money. But always be bossing, basically. Oh, I did not apply Sweeping Wind. That's bad. That was very bad gameplay, because we did not get our bleed multiplier because of it. But I don't think there was any obelisks. Nope, there's no obelisks. And we just keep going. Once we get to the next mega boss planet, I'll probably call it there. As from that point on, it's still just the same old thing that you're just going to be seeing throughout this entire video now. And there's not much to really commentate about it. It's just always take bosses, pick up your skill upgrades, and avoid anything that you're immune to. So these are double exploration, so by default, we're forced to go for this boss planet over here. It's not a bad boss planet. It's pretty good for Draken, dies pretty fast. We don't really care about the exploration buff that appears on the right. If it lines up with what we're doing, great. If not, I mean, it's whatever. It doesn't really influence my choice on doors, basically. We don't care for any of this. We're going to take the Blade Shot cooldown. Now, because there's a single Gigantus, he's going to start by charging at us, so I'm going to run up here to the left, shoot, Axe Slash against this wall, and then I forgot to apply bleed again. It's whatever. It's because I'm concentrating more on the commentary than I am the actual gameplay. I'm making silly mistakes. But you guys are better than me. You won't make these mistakes. You'll remember to apply your bleed before pressing Blade Shock, I'm sure. I'm gonna keep going. I want to hopefully get one of those really difficult choices in this run on the doors, just so I can show you how I make my decisions there. So this, for example, this is terrible. These lock you out so you can't get to them in time. This is, unlike the jungle defense, these enemies spawn too spread, take too long to kill, and they're just really annoying. Ice planets, 3x3, you can do fast skips on these, but in general we would reset here, usually in a speed run. But if you go for a normal clear, I would highly recommend taking the 3x3 over both of those. So we'll go for the 3x3. Now, you'll see what I mean by how this takes time. Now, depending on what tile set it is, you can just skip straight to the end. So, for example, in a speedrun setting, if you're playing something like Lightning, it's not terrible just to, like, do this, basically. Just run. Hug the walls. And the way that you know where the ending of these tiles are going to be is it's always the opposite corner from where you spawn. So because we spawn bottom left, it's going to be top right. And then you want to find the big bad enemy of this room and kill it as fast as possible. There you go, and that's the tile cleared. Like, as you see, it's very fast. Now, the downside to doing it like this is, if I now kill these enemies, you'll see they won't give me any money. But they do count towards kill power, and any knives and stuff you pick up in the run as well. But with this time at the end, don't exit to the next planet instantly. Check for relics, check for obelisks. Pick up whatever you can. Now, because we're playing Draken, actually, this isn't a terrible option. Yes, we only get one counterattack now, but the extra movement speed helps us quite a bit. It's a very underrated stat, is having the movement speed to be able to move around these tile sets a little bit faster. But I wouldn't prioritize it over damage, for example. Check over here. That's another obelisk. Pick up that. We'll pick up these penetrate rounds as well as this bleeding target. Check down here. Now, you are immune to damage throughout this entire thing, so I wouldn't worry too much about these enemies. Check this. Pick up the boss target and pick up the Medal of Honor. Now, I'll show you the stats in a second as well to show you how this run's been scaling thanks to the bonus coin and Medal of Growth. You can see we're at 846 attack power already without really having to pick up too many attack power. Well, actually, that's a lie. We've picked up from Reaper, Giant Strength, and Medal of Honor. But by the time we get to... We don't actually need to pick up any more attack power stuff now, because by the time we get to the last planet, this would give us our 1000 attack power now. We'll check on this again. We'll roll once on this. Don't care for that, so we're going to keep the 5% damage multiplier. Check the planets again, and we'll take the Poly Chopper. And if you notice, I haven't been running to that box to upgrade relics. I am aware that that's a thing you could do, but you want to save doing that for when you get to the point where you can no longer find relics or obelisks or anything like that in your run, and start using the bonus coin money that you get to upgrade those relics on those planets where you can no longer find relics. That helps you continue your scaling. Run in here. We're going to apply bleed instantly this time. And then, bam. See, when you remember to actually apply your bleed, you do a lot more damage, isn't it? Isn't that incredible? And we move on. Keep running. All of them are immune to bleed. This is the problem with speedrunning Draken in Seasonal. There's a lot of planets that are immune to bleed. Unfortunately, all these really suck. But I think our best option, unironically, is going to be Cyclops. So we're going to take Cyclops. Just because it's got a lower health pool. Now, I can't guarantee, confirm that it actually has a lower health pool. There's no way I could there's no statistics in the game for me to be able to be like, this guy has 7.8 billion and this guy has 7.9 billion. It's just the way it feels when you hit them with certain abilities. It looks like the health bar gets chunked more, even though you have the same damage as usual. Buy the boss target. Roll once. Buy the boss target again. Roll again. Don't really care for this stuff. We'll pick up Necklace of Trade. Roll once again, pick up the power chip, roll again, penetrate rounds, bleed target. And you can see this is how I do my runs, basically. I just prioritize these boxes as you have so many more opportunities to finding the relics you need, and making sure not to roll too much to the point where you can no longer afford anything. But that's pretty much situated. There is some tricks you could do, though. If you have abilities that can reach over walls, for example, you can do stuff like this. And you can slowly break stuff from over the other side of the wall, get a little bit more money, and then come back down. And we're just out. We're 1 coin short. That's sad. That's okay. We'll wait for our cooldowns. We're good. But this is how you speedrun Seasonal. And now the boss is immune. This is kind of what I mean by charging greaves as well, by the way, is how you only really have time to be counterattacking without sacrificing DPS in these immunity frames, which is why you don't see me prioritizing charging greaves based relics. Immune again. Check this box. What's his immune? Oh, we'll pick up the cooldown reduction, sure. Then after this planet, we'll call the run there. And there we go. So that's your 10 planets. You pretty much just rinse and repeat everything that you've seen in this video over and over and over again, and eventually you'll get to like you'll get to planet 30 and you'll just finish the run. So the reason why I say I usually reset at 10 on a lot of my runs is if I get to this point and I don't have like specific skill upgrades, like we have every blade shield upgrade, I would carry this run on. If I got to this point and the planets weren't so time consuming, because we've had quite a few planets that are against our breaker, we don't really want those, they add a lot of time, but we would usually carry on the run from here, and we'll go to 30, see what we can get. I hope this has been informative of how we do our runs in seasonal. You want to prioritize picking up all these relics I've mentioned and avoiding planets that go directly against your breaker's element type, and prioritize boss planets. Remember, always be bossing. So I'll catch you in the next one.